Next on the Gospel Bill Show.
Johnny Bob, what are you doing?
Hey, Mr. Tutwater. Have you begun to find out that the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo is more than just a fairy tale?
Well, maybe he is real, but what does he want to do with me?
Well, don't you know?
What?
Well, the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo has a special appetite for those who handle money with their bare hands. It's a Grizzlo! Oh.
It's the Gospel Bill Show, featuring Gospel Bill, Nicodemus, Bartimaeus, Miss Lana, Hugh Tutwater, and the entire Dry Gulch gang.
It's true, boys. The Rocky Mountain Grizzlo is perhaps the most dangerous critter in the whole world. Why, late at night, you'll be in your bed, and all of a sudden, you'll hear a dog barking, but it's not a dog. And then after that, you'll begin to hear a bell ringing. And you know how he got the bell around his neck? Aha, I'll tell you. Well, he got the bell around his neck because of a man, a mountain man named Hezekiah Hemlock. Yeah, that's who it was. Why, Hezekiah, he rounded himself up 150,000 men. You know why? Because he got tired of hearing this monster bark like a dog. And all the men surrounded the critter, and they got him just in time to get a bell around his neck. And then he got away. And late at night, you'll hear the dog barking, but it's not a dog. And then you'll hear the bell ringing. And then, in a deep, human voice, you'll hear him say 3 unmistakable words. Me want soup. And you know why he wants soup? Because he likes it. Yeah.
Johnny Bob, that is just ridiculous.
Ridiculous, huh? Well, let me tell you guys something. You know who he attacks first? Those who don't believe.
Well, good day, Miss Lana.
Well, hello, Mr. Tutwater. What can I do for you?
Well, I was wondering how much your coffee is this week.
Well, it's the same as it was last week. 5 pounds for 39 cents.
Well, Miss Lana, I understand that it's no fault of your own having to deal with the type of clientele you do generally, but a person of the refined taste that I have in this rather inferior brand of coffee, I was thinking that I'd offer you, say, 29 cents for that 5-pound bag. How would that be?
Mr. Tutwater, it's 5 pounds for 39 cents. Would you like some?
Well, since you put it that way, why don't you grind me up a bag and then I'll be back a little bit later and pick it up.
Can you believe that Johnny Bob McElroy monster stories? Does kind of scare you though, don't it?
Now, Nicodemus, are you talking about those horns and that hoof and the bell and the mountain man? Now, for a thinking man like myself, that is pure nonsense.
Yeah, you know you're right. For once, I totally agree with you, Mr. Tutwater. But you know, sometimes at night when I'm laying in my bed and it's real dark, monster stories scare me.
Nicodemus, all that talk and stuff about monsters, that is rubbish.
I couldn't agree with you more, Miss Lana. See you later. Johnny Bob McElroy. Seems the crowd you had here must have walked away. They discovered the truth about this lie you're trying to put on our community?
They didn't walk away, Tutwater. They ran away in fear of the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo. They're locking all their doors.
You don't expect a superior, intelligent, educated man like myself to believe some foolishness like that, do you?
It's true.
Rocky Mountain Grizzlo. Oh, what a story.
You don't believe me, huh, Tutwater? Well, fine. I'll have to see to it personally that Tutwater gets a personal visit from the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo. Close.
let's go to the farm for a visit with one of man's best friends, the horse. There are over 60 breeds of horses. As you can see, they come in many shapes and colors and sizes. Some horses are great for pulling heavy loads. Others can run very fast. And this guy doesn't get into a hurry about anything. Horses have feet that give it the ability to walk or run over many kinds of ground. Its legs are very, very strong. Why, the strongest man in all the world doesn't even come close to the strength of a horse. This horse might even be strong enough to hold up my sister, Jeannie Mae.
I heard that.
Kids love a certain kind of horse. He's called a pony. But not all horses are for kids. Horses have been used by man for thousands of years. Without them, man would never have been able to do all the things he has done. Horses have been used to pull chariots and wagons and even plows. After all this hard work, horses can really build up an appetite. Hey, bud, come on over. Here's a golden delicious apple just for you. What do you mean you don't want it? Oh, I get it. I don't blame you. You don't want to eat this apple because Jeannie touched it. Horses eat grass, hay, oats, and pizza. Pizza? Horses don't eat pizza. Who wrote this script?
I did.
Jeannie, horses don't eat pizza.
Well, I fed pizza to Uncle Bert's horse.
That wasn't a horse, it was a goat. Now, horses are intelligent animals, and they love to play. They can even be taught to do tricks. But they hold a special place in man's heart because they're hard workers. They know how to do a job well. So, take a tip from the horse. Be a hard worker, but don't eat hay. The straw will turn your teeth yellow.
Lord, may you prosper everything I set my hands to do. And for others in the financial community, may you crush them, and may all their spoils be added to my coffers. And as always, thank you for hearing my prayer. Dogs. Who would let their dogs out at this time of night? Bells? Who would be ringing bells at this time of night?
One, two.
The Rocky Mountain Grizzle.
Grandpa heard that noise the third time. He went out to that chicken coop with his shotgun. He walked inside the door and something jumped on his back. He pulled the trigger on that shotgun and shot a hole in the roof of that chicken coop. He turned around and ran pretty near 200 yards before he realized it's just an old coon.
Hello, Sheriff.
Hey, Mr. Tutwater.
I wonder if I could have just a moment of your wisdom.
Well, sure. I guess I could help you out. What is it?
Yes, sir. What do you think about monsters?
Now, listen, Tutwater, you've got a pretty fertile imagination. I mean, I've known you to come up with drive-through wagon banking and some other innovative things for the financial realm, but I've never known you to get out in the area of monsters. What's the idea?
Well, do you think they exist?
Oh, Tutwater, you know they don't exist. That's just some made-up story.
Well, thank you, Sheriff. I must have been dreaming.
Slowly, the little boy walked into the house. He had to brush away the cobwebs. There was dust everywhere. Sheets covered all the furniture. He thought that no one would be home, but suddenly he looked at the top of the stairs, and there stood an old man with long white hair and an axe in his hand. Oh no, these ghost stories give me the creeps. What happened next? He turned to run out the door, but the door was bolted. He couldn't escape. Then he ran to crawl through a window. But the windows were covered with iron bars. There was no way for the little boy to escape. Boy, I don't know why, but when I read these books, I get scared like crazy. Hey, who's out there? Hey, you better get away from my house. Whoever you are, you better leave me alone. Oh, no, it just occurred to me. That could be a ghost. Yikes! Oh.
Hello, Mr. Piggy. Piggy bank, piggy bank. On my right, I put in a penny and say, good night. Good night, Mr. Piggy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not again. Not again. It's the Grizzlo.
You got any bicarbonate soda?
Sure is early in the morning to be using that, isn't it?
It's 'cause that food at the cafe is so awful.
Well, now, Nicodemus, if you don't like the food, why don't you just eat somewhere else?
'Cause the view is beautiful.
You know, I guess I've just missed it all these years. I never thought that Main Street had that kind of breathtaking scenery.
Well, I ain't talking about Main Street. I'm talking about the waitress.
Oh, so Miss Truly Lou was working this morning, huh?
How'd you guess?
Well, it's not too hard to figure out.
Sheriff, could I have a word with you, sir?
Well, sure, Tutwater.
In private.
Nicodemus, would you excuse us?
Sure. I know when I'm not wanted.
Sheriff, there was a dog outside my window last night.
There's a dog outside?
No. It just sounded like a dog.
Yeah, it sounded like a...
Yeah, no, the bell was around the neck. I heard the bell.
There was a bell around the neck of the...
Yes, you know, Hezekiah Hemlock can put the bell around his neck.
Hezekiah Hemlock...
Sheriff, I know he was out there because he asked me for soup.
Why did he ask you for soup?
You don't know?
No.
Oh, they love soup. They love soup. Sheriff, you've got to take a look. Come on.
Whoa,
Sheriff,
hey,
come.
Wait a minute. Now, Tutwater, I'm not going one more step with you till you tell me what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo. He's trying to get me, Sheriff. You've got to come to our house. Come.
Rocky Mountain Grizzlo?
Sheriff, I know it's not a fable. I know it's not. In fact, I used to think it was myself, but I saw with my own two eyes right out my window.
Now listen, Tutwater, if you really saw a Rocky Mountain Grizzlo, then it had to leave some evidence. There has to be a track or two around here.
Okay. What are those tracks?
Oh, these are goat tracks.
Goat tracks? Oh, no, Sheriff. This thing had a hoof growing right out of his chest. It's probably a goat's hoof.
Now listen, Tutwater, you know that Lester Squires runs goats all up and down through here all the time. He's got a whole herd of them. This is just your imagination, or maybe a prank, but there is no Rocky Mountain Grizzlo.
Oh, I know it's real. I know it's real. I know it's real. Johnny Bob, what are you doing?
Hey, Mr. Tutwater, have you begun to find out that the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo is more than just a fairy tale?
Well, maybe he is real, but what does he want to do with me?
Well, you handle money, don't you?
Well, of course, I'm a banker.
Well, don't you know?
What?
Well, the Rocky Mountain Grizzlo has a special appetite for those who handle money with their bare hands. I don't know why.
Miss Lana, do you sell gloves here?
Well, yes, but nothing for a man of your refined taste.
Okay, but what do you have?
Well, just have everyday work gloves.
Okay, that'll be just fine. And how much are they?
$1.
Okay, fine. Could you just reach in my pocket and get the money?
I will not.
Miss Lana, please, just get the money, please.
What's wrong with you reaching in your pocket?
Well, I can't touch it.
You can't touch money?
Well, sure, I can touch money.
Oh, that's a relief.
But just not with my bare hands.
Has this got something to do with those monster stories?
Well, the Grizzlo knows when you've touched money.
I'll take your money. But I think you're acting in fear unnecessarily.